Hi, everybody. Welcome to English 102. My name's Matthew Bloom. I'll be your instructor this semester. It's going to be a lot of fun. Actually, it's going to be a very challenging course, but it's going to be a very interesting course. If you are taking it, then I'm hoping and guessing, assuming that you have some interest in understanding literature on a level that's a little bit deeper, at least, than just simply, basic understanding of what a text might mean in terms of its literal meaning, or it's just applying maybe some general theory is something that you're interested in doing. So anyway, before we're gonna have plenty of time to talk about that stuff, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes just to introduce myself real quickly, and which I've already done. And this picture, by the way, is not necessarily an accurate portrayal of me. I am. If you want to see what I look like in person, I encourage you to come to my office hours and discuss, whatever we're doing in the course, or anything else, I guess. But so anyway, check out the syllabus. I'll show you where that is. Anyway, here's the course. So I'm just going to kind of run you through it. Now, over at the top right here, if you're not familiar with Canvas, this stuff right here doesn't change. This is your dashboard. You've got your courses that you're enrolled in. If you just hover, you can click on that. It'll show you all your courses. But if you just hover over it, it drops down the active ones, the ones that you've decided to view. Okay, and then there's other things here you can click. But our actual course starts like right here, and you can see all the different tabs on the left that are available to you. The home tab is going to take you to this welcome message, which I encourage you to read first. That's the reason why it's the home message. And as it says here, read everything. It's really important to remember that this is not only is this a literature class and a critical theory class. Both of those things in and of themselves require a considerable amount of reading. But it's also an online class, and online classes are more reading intensive than regular classes because you do all of your discussions through discussion boards, and there's extra writing because of blogs and stuff like that. So, and it's not, again, as it says here, it's not. I'm not trying to scare you or intimidate you. I just want to make sure that you understand that there is going to be a lot of invested time reading, not necessarily on a screen. All the materials that you need for this course are provided, except for the book, the textbook, the main textbook, and that's down at the bottom here. So, but all like the short stories and poems and plays and all that stuff that you're going to be reading, the primary texts, even the novel The Great Gatsby, which is the first main piece of literature we'll be reading. In fact, you should probably start reading that as soon as possible, because you have to have it finished by September 10th. But my point is that there's a lot of reading, and if you want to print that stuff out, or if you want to download it onto if you have a Kindle or your phone or whatever the case may be, however you want to do that is fine. I probably would recommend printing out some of the short stories and then jotting down notes and stuff. That's the way that I prefer to do it. With The Great Gatsby, which is a novel by F. Scott Fitzgerald, you can find that anywhere. You'll be able to find that at Barnes and Noble. You'll be able to find that at any used bookstore. It's extremely common. There are hundreds of millions of copies of that out there. So you should be able to find it anywhere. If you go on Amazon to try to get it like a real cheap copy, just make sure you rush the shipping, because you need to get that started as soon as possible. But like I said, it's available for free, and I'll show you that in a minute. So anyway, this is the book right here that you're going to want to order. You can get it from Amazon. Again, you don't need this until like the beginning of the third week of the semester. If you want to get it sooner than that, then just to get started or whatever, that's fine. I would definitely order this book immediately, and that way it's likely to get here in like 4 to 10 business days, and you'll have it with enough time to read the first, I think, 40 or so pages is due halfway through the third week. So you want to make sure to get your hands on this book. We're going to read most of this book. It's a book on critical theory. It's a really it's I mean, as complicated as critical theory can seem to be, and in fact how as complicated as it is sometimes, this book does a really good job of kind of breaking it down, organizing it in a way that makes it easy to understand. The concept of critical theory I'm not going to get into now, because that's what the course is about, but the basic idea is, we are looking at literature through one of a number of different lenses. For example, you can read The Great Gatsby, and you can just interpret the story as, oh, okay, well, this is what happens to Gatsby, this is what the novel's about, literally, whatever, and you can enjoy it and say this is a great, rich, entertaining and it is an entertaining novel. But at the same time, we can kind of peel off some layers, and we can start looking at kind of like what's at the core of the novel. How can we understand the significance of the meaning of the novel, or different ways to understand meaning in the novel. And so you could look at it in terms of class perspectives, rich and poor. You can look at it in terms of feminism. You can look at it in terms of history and historical context. So there, I mean, and those are just different potential examples. There are a lot of different ways that you can kind of focus on different types of meaning. And this book really breaks it down into categories and really helps make something that is potentially intimidating relatively easy to engage with. It's still going to be a challenging course, and I've already now been talking for 5 minutes about it, so I'll just move on. Read all this stuff. I'm not going to read it to you. What you want to do is check out some of these other things over here. If you click on syllabus, you'll see the syllabus. It contains all this course description, contains all of the policies and stuff. So make sure you read this stuff very carefully. There is a hard copy of the syllabus right here that you can print out. This actually contains a schedule. Now, Canvas has a schedule at the bottom of the syllabus. You'll see here there is basically the date that something is due, and then all the different things that are that are due on that date. Okay, and reading assignments, for example, it tells you the stuff that you should have read by that day so that you can do, for example, the quiz. Right. So anyway, but this is the course schedule, and it's completely populated. I might make some small changes to it, but you can get a sense of where stuff's going to be. And if you click on any one of these things right here, then it will take you to that page. Now, this, of course, if the module's not published yet, then you won't be able to access it. There are actually, now I'm going to get out of the syllabus. I'm going to click on modules here. This is where you should anchor yourself in the course. Whenever you need to know where assignments are, or content, or anything that you're looking for, you can go to the syllabus if you want, and that's a helpful way to see by the day, the due date, what you should be looking at. But I actually really prefer to go to the modules, because each week, basically week by week, all the content that you need is gathered together. And you can see right now you only have available week 1 and week 2. The other and there will be more. I will publish them later. The other ones, all the readings, however, you can access right now. So if you want to actually, look and see kind of like what the reading is going to be like later in the course, you can start, downloading that stuff and kind of checking it out. Like, this is like a 4-page short story that you're going to be expected to read in a few weeks. So anchor yourself in the modules page. Feel free to explore. Feel free to read ahead a little bit if you want. I wouldn't read too far ahead. There are a couple of things that, like, The Great Gatsby is the main thing you should be focusing on right now, because it's like a 200-page. I don't know off the top of my head exactly how long it is, but it's not a difficult read. It's an entertaining book, and it's pretty easy to read. Um, so I don't foresee that being a problem. I think that having 2 weeks to complete it is totally reasonable. I've read the book several times over the course of my education, and just for personal, because I like it. Um, and I've found, I think the first time I read it was in high school, and I think it took me a couple of days, and that was in high school. So it's kind of like, I would imagine that you should probably not have too much difficulty getting through it. Another one that you're going to see, there's a lot of stuff here. Most of these are short stories and poems. There's another one, though, that's a little bit on the long side, and that's A Doll's House. This is a play. It's a complete play by the Norwegian author Henrik Ibsen. Um, and it's the kind of thing that you're probably going to, I mean, it's a play, so it would be performed in one sitting, but I don't know if you're going to want to read for 3 hours straight. You know what I mean? So it might take you a couple of sittings to get through that. The rest of it, though, Sophocles is a play. This Oedipus the King by Sophocles is a play as well. Anyway, like I said, I don't want to drag this on all day. So that's what you really need to be focusing on. You will have access to your grades here. I'll try to keep that as, I'm going to try to turn around the grades as quickly as possible. So when you do things, I'm going to try to engage with it and give you feedback and get grades caught up as soon as possible. If you have questions, the first thing to do is go back and look at the module, go back and look at the syllabus. If you have questions about policies, look at the syllabus. If you have questions about what you're supposed to read, look at the list of modules and find what week we're in. Those kinds of things, a lot of that is going to work itself out on its own. But if you still have issues, or if you find that something's not working in the course, or something doesn't make sense, let me know, because I'm just going to tell you, this is not my course. I didn't develop this course. It's pretty solid. Looking at it, I think that it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a great course to use. But I this is the first time that I've actually used this specific Canvas course for English 200. And so I'm going to be doing some of these things for the first time, before you do them. But at the same time, if I'm kind of going to be learning some of this stuff in terms of functionality at the same time that you are. So keep that in mind. And if you see anything or think anything doesn't make any sense or something like that, please let me know, and we'll try to address that as soon as possible. Okay, well, um, welcome to the course, and have a wonderful uh, course semester. It's gonna be fun.